I'm a glass artist. And what is that? I'm an artist that works mainly in the material of glass. You can call me maybe an applied artist, or you can call me a craftsman, woman, or maybe you can call me a glass blower. I do my work myself. Why glass? Why would I choose the material of glass? Well, I, as so many other artists, work with portraying human and human circumstances. And I find glass to be the perfect material to do that. Glass is fragile. It breaks eventually and easily, as does humans. Glass can be really sharp. Glass can be really dangerous. But one extraordinary quality that glass has is that light can travel within this material. It can bear light, as can human beings. A person can shine. I work with illumination to illuminate the material itself, but also to illuminate circumstances in society, circumstances in life for mankind and womankind. The first pictures that I will show you now are from an exhibition called In Pieces. In Pieces was about demands that we set on ourselves, the society set on us, and that can make us fall into pieces. I casted my own body parts, the fist, the foot, my face, and my chest. The exhibition was really inspired by an author called Margaret Atwood, or her name is Margaret Atwood. In the 60s, she wrote a book called The Edible Woman, one of the first books considered to be feminist. And in this book, she writes about this female character, the main character, that really struggles with her identity as being a woman. In the end, she bakes her fiancé a cake picturing herself and asks him, and he does so also, to eat it as for prey. So in this exhibition, as an homage to Margaret Atwood, I baked a cake of myself, full size. And you could say that, for the visitors to the opening to eat. And you could say that it was a sort of leader parade, but also a memento mori, remember that you're mortal. The glass that you see here are a sort of glass called uranium glass. It contains uranium. And the reason why I started to work with uranium glass was actually for the effect. When you light these with UV light, they are fluorescent. So a colleague and I, we blew hundreds of uranium glass bubbles, and we exhibited them with bubbles, soap bubbles that were UV fluorescent also, and a bubble sound. And what happened when we did this, it turned really, really poisonous, everything, and it really looked like the radioactive waste that we dig down would rise to the surface and come and get us. So I started to get in more into the radioactive aspect of it. And indeed, the glass that I work with, and uranium glass, is a bit radioactive. This is not so high doses, so it's no health hazard. But it used to be much higher doses. And it's because of the effect. If you would go to a flea market, and that is outside, and you can see piles of glass being there, maybe you've seen that some of the glass shines a little bit brighter. And that is probably because it contains uranium and it reacts to the UV light, the natural UV light. And me and antiquarian Björn Arvidsson at Smålands Museum, we came up with this idea that we would bring a UV beamer down in the archives of Smålands Museum, who has a great glass collection, light it up and see what happens. And as Björn described it, it looked like Solomon's treasure. Suddenly, on the shelves with the glasses, the glass artifacts, some of them, quite a lot of them, started to shine. It was really popular during the 20s and 30s with this uranium glass, especially in the United States. It was called Vaseline glass because of its resemblance of petroleum jelly. But at the time of World War II, the production decreased. The uranium was needed for warfare. And the bomb that fell over Hiroshima, little boy, had a bullet containing uranium. Well, the radio aspect led me to Marie Curie. Marie Curie, as you all heard of course, was a really prominent scientist, and she discovered and named radioactivity. And she died from aplastic anemia also, probably caused by the radiation that she exposed herself to. Marie Curie was nominated, or she received the Nobel Prize, not once, but twice for her research. And this was in a time where women were not even allowed to vote. So you could really say that she literally crashed the glass ceiling. Times were dark for women. Times still are dark, is dark for women. Brilliant women, journalists, politicians, are forced out from the light by net haters, so-called trolls, sitting in the darkness, threatening them and their families. Madame Curie, she was also a victim of slander. In 1911, she applied for the French Academy of Sciences. She bid for a place in the academy. And she was then exposed in newspapers where they were commenting on her face. They were commenting on her background as being Jewish. They were commenting on her having an affair, even though she was a widow. And she was not accepted. And the basic reason, or the main reason, is that she was a woman. I have a letter that Albert Einstein wrote to Marie Curie, commenting on her haters. Highly esteemed Mrs. Curie, do not laugh at me for writing you without having anything sensible to say, but I am so enraged by the base manner in which the public is presently daring to concern itself with you, that I absolutely must give vent to this feeling. However, I am convinced that you consistently despise this rabble, whether it obsequiously lavishes respect on you, or whether it attempts to satiate its lust for sensationalism. I am impelled to tell you how much I have come to admire your intellect, your drive, and your honesty, and that I consider myself lucky to have made your personal acquaintance in Brussels. Anyone who does not number among these reptiles is certainly happy now as before, that we have such personages among us as you and Langevin too, real people with whom one feels privileged to be in contact. If the rabble continues to occupy itself with you, then simply don't read that hogwash, but rather leave it to the reptile for whom it's been fabricated. With most amicable regards to you, Langevin and Perrin, yours very truly, Albert Einstein. The artifacts that you see here are artifacts from an exhibition that I made at the glass factory in Boda called Je t'aime, Marie, I love you, Mary. And what I did was create a sort of dreamlike laboratory, Marie Curie's dreamlike radioactive laboratory. And there I had the flasks, and I also had body parts. These are 3 body parts that I find have great symbolic value for women's struggle, and of love, progression, and great competence: the heart, the brain, and the fist. Thank you.